Hello and welcome to the second ePremier League Invitational. I'm Adam Smith and pleased to say I will be alongside Joe Tomlinson as we look to find out who is the ultimate FIFA 20 player in the Premier League. We're currently on day 4. We've got one more quarter final to bring you, Joe.
Yes, indeed. We've had so many good games. Hopefully we get another one coming up in just a second. But a quick reminder, please do stay home and help save lives. It's really important. And that the ePremier League Invitational Prize Fund will be donated to the Players Together initiative too. So that's great to see. Right, let's have a look at this last quarter-final match coming your way between Norwich and Chelsea. It's going to see Max Aarons going up against Emerson. We can also see the draw in full here. Max Aarons had to beat Ryan Sessegnon to get to this stage, and he did so pretty comfortably. 4-1 victor over the Spurs star. And for Emerson, he had to get past Andre Gray, and it was a tough game, but he did so 4-2. The winner of this match will go on to play John Egan of Sheffield United at the semi-final. Quick rules reminder then from you, Smithy, if we can.
Yes, Joe, with pleasure, my friend. Here are the all-important rules you need to be aware of. The EPL Invitational is a straight knockout tournament. Every round consists of just one game. All 20 Premier League clubs have been represented either by a player from their squad, an ex-pro or celebrity fan, although no celebrity fans or ex-pros remain. These are the all-important in-game rules. 2 6-minute halves. In the event of a draw, golden goal will be used to determine a winner, as we saw earlier today when James Maddison needed a golden goal to defeat Michael Obafemi of Southampton. Lastly, 85 rated Premier League squads in kickoff mode on the PS4 to determine who is the ultimate FIFA 20 player.
Yeah, and we can have a look at some of the goals that people have already seen today because there have been some brilliant finishes and some brilliant games. The first match between James Maddison and Michael Obafemi was a blockbuster. Michael Obafemi actually went 2-0 up, despite the fact James Maddison was trying to play mind games, wasn't he? He was saying, oh, I hope it's not going to be another 9-0. Look at Michael Obafemi shushing Madders in celebration. But then it all went wrong. A goal on the stroke of half-time made it 2-1. Then second half was all Maddison. He equalised with himself before turning the game on its head with Kelechi Iheanacho. Look at that celebration and what it meant to him. But Michael Obafemi went up the other end and he equalised himself to take it to golden goal before James Maddison, with his own in-game character, produced a moment of brilliance that made Michael Obafemi walk off and put his head in his hands. Game number 2 was between Burnley and Aston Villa. Charlie Taylor, been a bit of a surprise package to get to this stage, but maybe it was one game too far. Keenan Davis, who both Brandon and Rich, our commentators, called one of the favourites to win this competition, put on the best display of the tournament so far. He scored 8 goals and was 4-0 up by half-time against the Burnley Stars. Charlie Taylor did get one of his own in the second half, but he couldn't stop the Keenan Davis onslaught. Keenan Davis scoring there with Trezeguet. He also scored with himself. He got a brace for Jack Grealish. It was all too much for Charlie Taylor. And Keenan Davis, must be said, is now looking like the favourite to win the EPL Invitational after such an incredible performance. 14 goals in 2 games for the young Villa striker. Sheffield United versus Brighton saw 2 Ireland teammates go head-to-head, and it was a brilliant watch. John Egan went 1-0 up, but Aaron Connolly pulled it back with that goal from Aaron Moy. He then got a second with his own in-game character. Look at the celebrations. John Egan getting a bit nervous, but this little lucky bobble fell back to Lundstrom, and he equalised with it. The third goal also went John Egan's name. The Moose produced, in the words of the centre-back, and Sheffield United got a 4th goal too to really seal it. What drama we've had today, Smithy. It's been so fun to watch, hasn't it?
Joe, I'm going to call it now. We've had so many great games, but this has been the day of the tournament. It's had absolutely everything. We've seen a golden goal. We've seen shushes. We've seen people leave the room and come back. We've seen 2 Ireland teammates go at it, and we've seen an absolute thrashing. It's had absolutely everything. Certainly for me, mate, this has been the day of the tournament so far, and another big game still to come.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with you. My favourite moment of the tournament as well, Aaron Connolly absolutely launching his controller against the wall when that 4th goal went in from John Egan. That's exactly what I want to see, because that's exactly what we would all do when we're playing against our friends, isn't it, Smithy?
Absolutely right. I'm pleased to say now we can speak to the players. So first up, I'm going to speak to the home player, Max Aarons of Norwich. Max, good to have you back with us today. How are you feeling going into this one, mate?
Yeah, after yesterday's result against Ryan, I'm taking that performance into this game and hopefully can get the win. So yeah, I'm confident.
You must take a lot of positives from that performance because Ryan Sessegnon was many people one of the favourites going into this. He knocked out the favourite, Spencer. Many people said Spencer was the favourite going into it, and Ryan Sessegnon beat him in one. And he beat him quite comfortably 4-1. So you've got to take a lot of confidence from that performance that you can go potentially all the way in this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I know how good Sess was, having roomed with him in England under-21s and playing on there. So going into the game, I knew I had to be on a good level. So I'm sure it won't be an easy task today. But yeah, I'm confident, as I've said, and I'll obviously winning 4-1 yesterday. Yeah, it's looking good.
What do you know about your opponent, Emerson? 4-2 victory, looked fairly comfortable in his game. Do you know anything about his FIFA playing ability?
I don't, I had a little watch of his games to see if I could see any tactics that he's doing, but not really. I don't really know too much about him as a player.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, Max. All the best in your quarterfinal match. Those are the thoughts of Max Aarons ahead of our last quarterfinal of the day.
So there we go. We can speak to Emerson as well now, his opponent. Emerson, as we said, a really good victory in your first game, 4-2. How are you feeling today?
Yeah.
We can't actually hear you at the moment, Emerson, so we will come back to you in just a second. We've got a few technical issues, I think, behind the scenes. Nevertheless, we are going to be able to bring you this game in just a few seconds. Smithy, looking forward to the game, nevertheless. Max there was talking about how confident he is, and I think Emerson, despite the fact we can't hear him just yet, will be confident as well.
Yeah, we can't put words into his mouth because we didn't hear what he said, but they both look very relaxed, I think it's fair to say. So let's bring in our casters, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley. Brandon, I spoke earlier. I don't know for you, we've seen so many great games, but for me, this has been the day of the tournament. It's had absolutely everything, day 4, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Smithy. It's been such an entertaining day. We've had some fantastic games from start to finish. We've had some fantastic banter between players, good friends as well, of course, in the football circuit. And we've had some amazing reactions. You saw Aaron Connolly throw his controller into the sofa in our last game. We saw golden goal drama for James Maddison up against Michael Obafemi. And for me, I can't wait for this one. I don't know if you remember, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I said about Max Aarons, Ryan Sessegnon, whoever won that game could go and win the whole tournament. And Max Aarons won that game. So for me, I'm saying watch out for this kid. Watch out for him.
Ooh, okay. And speaking of good banter and good friends, let's bring in someone who has good banter. Your good friend, Richard Buckley. Richard, let's look ahead to this match. How do you see this one go, mate?
I feel like Brandon said that there's going to be a winner out of every game so far. Brandon, you've got to stop saying that everyone's going to win it. We can only have one winner. Unfortunately, not here for Emerson there, but I do have to say something. Cracking hair. I liked the little slit. I'm a big fan of that. I'm thinking myself I might get the Emerson slit.
Okay, there we go. So we thought we were going to talk about the game, but we are talking about Richard Buckley's haircut. Richard, it looks absolutely fantastic, may I add. We're almost ready to go. Both players looking very relaxed, it has to be said. Max Aarons and Emerson, we are ready to go with the game. We're in the arena at the minute, so let's pass back to our casters, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley.
Thank you very much, Smithy. And yeah, here we go then. Our last quarterfinal of the day. We'll see Norwich up against Chelsea. It'll be Emerson up against Max Aarons. The battle of the fullbacks in our final game of the day. The winner will go through to a semi-final that takes place tomorrow up against Sheffield United. This is going to be an interesting one, Richard. We've seen Max Aarons play before. We saw him in the Football Staying Home Cup. Didn't have maybe the run he would have wanted in that tournament. Still made a quarter-final. But on another day, I reckon he could have went further. We saw him up against Ryan Sessegnon, and he seemed like quite a polished FIFA player.
Yeah, he went out to the eventual winner, didn't he, in Cantwell in the Football Stay Home tournament. Here in the ePremier League Invitational, 4-1 victory over Spurs. I really don't think there's that much to separate these two. 4-1 win for Max, 4-2 win for Emerson. in his first game here. We'll see how they're getting on in the quarterfinals. We're looking for our final semi-finalist for tomorrow.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable result, wasn't it, last time out? Up against Ryan Sessegnon, one of the favourites in the tournament. Chance now for Norwich early on. We'll go down to ground. But on the other side of that, for Emerson, it was, what you'd say, quite a comfortable win up against Andre Gray of Watford.
Just looking here, early stages. We saw Emerson with the sort of skill moves, quite a Flair-esque play to his attack when he was playing against Watford in his first game here. But defensively, there's been a few gaps back there so far. Hernandez looks to cross it into the box, and Pukki was lurking. 8 minutes in, there's been a couple of chances already for the Canaries.
Going into the box now. Tell you what, that's the deepest corner I think I've seen in a long time. It's got out for a throw-in. There you go.
I don't think that was intended on the set piece from Max. You saw just a little smirk come across his face as it got whipped out for a throw-in.
The players giving possession away quite needless here. Here's another chance now for Norwich if they can break through the defence of Chelsea. Emerson at the back, very calm, very collective as well. It's been a really good tournament, Richard, for both of these two, because last time out in the first ever ePremier League Invitational, both teams actually went out in the round of 16. So the fact they're both in a quarter-final, with one of them definitely going on to the semi-final, it's certainly been an improvement.
Yeah, they've represented their clubs better than previously. However, in the first sort of 15 minutes here, it's been all Norwich. Pukki looking for that R1 square cross to the back post. He's done that a couple of times, looking for the whipped cross. One through ball, and Pedro is literally in right now for Emerson. Across the goalkeeper. Is he going to drop? Somehow cleared.
Still not dealt with.
By Aarons.
Jorginho, who actually scored a penalty in that round of 16 game. And it was just offside for Olivier Giroud. But yeah, we haven't seen much in terms of an attacking presence from Emerson. But one ball, it's all it took, Richard. Spread the play open. Pedro was through, and on another day, that would be 1-0 to the Blues in this game.
I think it could be potentially a 4-3-3 in action for Emerson. Pedro very wide on that right-hand side, and Willian on the left. Could actually be a 4-4-2. I'm trying to see who he's got up top. It looks like Giroud is the striker for him. For Emerson.
If you remember in the last game, Richard, Max Aaron did have a penalty early on, and it was Teemu Pukki that stepped up. Unfortunately, couldn't score that goal, but the end result didn't matter because he got a very, very strong result in the end up against Ryan Sessegnon. 4-1 it was. Plenty of goals in that one.
Sessegnon, I would say as well, lost his head a little bit in that game. I think Max Aaron's, the couple of early goals that sort of put him in front, Sessegnon sort of just, I don't know, I think he just lost composure, the best way of saying it. Whereas in this game, he
walked out of the room, didn't he, at one point?
Yeah, there's been no chat whatsoever. I don't think there will be. Both players fully focused on the game in front of him. As Aaron comes across and steals the ball off Willian there, but still 0-0. Chances at either end in the game so far. Who's going to be the first to break the deadlock?
Some of what you expect as well from a quarter-final, Richard, for it to be such a tightly contested game. The finals day place on the line tomorrow. Of course, we'll be bringing you both semi-finals and that grand final tomorrow. Day 5 of 5, that will be of the EPL Invitational. It's been another fantastic tournament once again. Full of shocks, surprises and lots of laughs along the way. Nearly a third of this game gone now. Norwich enjoying having the ball out on the left-hand side or the right-hand side and looking for the crosses into the box. Tete on the edge of the box. He'll try for it. He'll go on his own.
I seem to remember Tete scoring a worldie a couple of years ago, Brandon, in the Premier League. Not really a player that does get forward from midfield to create a lot of chances. Sting in the hands of Kepa there at his near post, but still. Emerson remaining strong at the back.
Godfrey jumping up there, but losing that battle on the air. Of course, both players starting themselves in this game, as you would expect as well. Max Aarons making a huge run. He's actually at the back post right now. If he can somehow latch onto this one, will he look for him? Lovely ball. Teemu Pukki, ball across the back. There's Cantwell. Has to go in.
Rudiger back there doing the defensive work. And again, look at that one through ball. Trying to find Pedro. He's been the danger man so far.
Kovacic. Back to Pedro. He's had all the ball at the moment on this right-hand side. It's been so important in every single Chelsea attack. It's punched away by Tim Krul, nearly on for a finish for N'Golo Kanté. Chances at either end. Maybe this game is slowly starting to come to life. Hernandez. Napoli will play into the finish forward. That's a great ball. Into Todd Cantwell. Will he look for a direct cross? He will. Kepa will stretch, but not stretched enough.
Giroud looking for another through ball. I'll tell you what, he's been picking out these passes very well, has Emerson. When he gets the ball in the final third, a little bit too direct for me. I'd like to see more build-up play. Just like we've seen here from Max Aarons, playing through the sort of gaps that are created for him. Whereas Emerson, more direct and more straight into the target man. Pukki looking to dance around Rudiger. Chelsea centre-half does well.
Yeah, Norwich have certainly had more of the possession, Richard, but on the other side of that, it's certainly been more smash and grab from Chelsea, counter-attacking football. They've not needed too many touches on the ball. Added time of just 2 minutes left. Could be going into a little bit of a stalemate at half-time. Haven't seen too much. Or will it all change now? Pukki with a chance. Fantastic save from Kepa. Azpilicueta's there at the back post, and that'll be the 2 minutes of this half played, unless the referee will play this one on. You can't go back. And at half-time, 0-0 between Norwich and Chelsea in our final quarter-final of the day.
Yes, it is 0-0 at the half-time stage. Not often that we've said that in this tournament. No goals to speak of in the first half. Let's speak to Max Aarons. Emerson's got a few issues with his microphone, so we'll speak to Max from Norwich. Max, your assessment of the first half. Close game.
Yeah, I can feel it's a bit tense. Neither of us are taking too many risks. But I think I just edged it in possession, and had a few more chances. So it's just about taking them now.
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats there. You did edge possession. Are you still quietly confident that you've got this? You're going to make any changes at half-time or stick with what you're doing now?
No, yeah, I'm not making any changes. Just tweaking a few little things. That's it.
And I think he had that one-on-one as well. You a bit worried at that point?
Yeah, he's got in a bit easily down the sides, but hopefully now if I tweak it at half-time, he won't get in as easy. So we'll see.
Okay, we'll get back into the second half. It is 0-0 between Norwich and Chelsea in our fourth game of the day and our last quarter-final. Who will be joining the other teams in the semi-final? We're about to find out. Let's hand back to our commentators, Brandon and Richard.
Thank you very much, Smith. And here we go then. Last 45 minutes of day 4 of the EPL Invitational. I say last 45 minutes, Richard. This could go to golden goal if it's goalless after 90 minutes. But I just feel like there could be something else in the meantime.
Very well could at the minute. I feel like Max Aarons created more chances, but the real one clear-cut chance was with Pedro. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Maybe had a little bit too much time. Sort of deliberated what finish he wanted to go with. Did he want to go near post? Did he want to go across the goalkeeper? Try and take it around him. And a good save from the Norwich GK.
Here comes Norwich now. Look for the ball across the box. There's Teemu Pukki. And there's the breakthrough that we've been waiting for in this game. And it will come from the finish forward. In the 51st minute, Norwich have the breakthrough at Carrow Road.
All created by Hernandez. Great dribbling down the line from Max Aarons. He sort of just waited and waited and waited to get into that position where he could cut it back for the finish striker up top. And that could be 2. McLean makes it 2. Max Aarons coming out firing in the second half. 2-0 up in 8 minutes.
Max, if you can hear us, what a start to the half. Probably best one that you could have imagined.
Yeah. big halftime team talk. Lads have come out firing.
Did you make
Certainly.
any little tactical changes at halftime, Max?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if Emerson can hear me, but yeah, I changed. Asked me and Jamal, our left back, to stay back a bit more. So
There you go. A few tactical changes made for Max Aarons. Maybe not in the attacking centre, Richard, but why would you change anything now? You've just scored 2 goals. Could be a third here. Hernandez looking for a third for Norwich. Which way will he go? Cuts inside. For the sweaty in the end, but Kepa will pick that one up. 60 minutes on the clock. We've been waiting a long time to see goals. We've just seen 2 in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, Emerson really under pressure right now in this quarter-final. Looking to join Leicester, Aston Villa and Sheffield United in finals day tomorrow. Norwich are 30 minutes away.
Kanté. Oh, the bounce. It would have really
anywhere.
fell to Olivier Giroud, Richard.
I think Giroud almost went wide a little bit. If he'd have stayed more central, he'd have been in the right place there, would Olivier Giroud. That's a pretty reckless kick out of the back.
He's giving it straight back to Pukki, hasn't it? Ball across the box. That's got to be it. Hernandez just over the bar.
no.
No, surely not. Oh, that was a gift.
Could have been the game.
Got
That
to take
could
that.
have been.
3 times now, Emerson. Just such simple passes out the back, Richard, where Emerson's messed up a few times now. Could have easily been 3-4-0 to Norwich by this point.
You heard Max say it as well. He got to take that with Pukki. Usually so clinical in one-on-one situations. Cantwell drifting forward from midfield. Into Pukki, looking to thread it through to McLean. Somehow goes wide again. All Norwich. This could be 5.
It's lucky for Emerson as well, Richard, that he's not 3 or 4-0 down. But again, it's at the back. He hasn't looked too confident. Passes going astray. Goalkeeper passing the ball short as well to the likes of Pukki, McLean. They've all had chances. Chance now for Emerson. Something's got to happen here. Went for a cross into the box. It took a deflection. Falling back to another Chelsea man. Tete back to defend for the Canaries. 2-0. 15 minutes left in this one. At this moment in time, it looks like they're going to be going into the semi-finals to go up against John Egan.
What a
and that'll be
pass.
Sheffield United.
That was a ridiculous pass, Max, that switch of play. I have to say.
Yeah. Buddy's got that one in the locker.
Yeah, Emerson not too happy with that. He can't handle this pressure, it seems, from Norwich. Look, he's just given away the ball again. This could be 3. Another chance.
We saw the aggravation from Emerson. That's how much it means to these players. They're representing the football club in one game of FIFA. All the fans, all the other players, everybody at Chelsea will be watching this game.
Thing is as well, Richard, for Emerson, he's been trying to do a few skill moves to try and be unpredictable, but Max Aarons just read all the tackles, every single ball, he's first to it. Tete. Chance on the edge, Norwich once again. Just seems like, Richard, as a Norwich player, every single time Emerson wants to try and get that ball forward, just standing in his way.
I have to say,
Game
I have to
set
talk
match.
about composure, Brandon. Composure being the big thing in games. Second half, Max Aarons has been clinical in the final third.
I'll take the words out of his mouth. He said, game, set and match. That will be job done. The Canaries will be booking a place in a semi-final tomorrow as part of our finals day. They'll be going up against Sheffield United and John Egan. It'll be a battle once again of the defenders in that one, and they'll make it to a final 4. They've done so much better in this tournament, of course, than last time. They went out in the round of 16. This time, They've gone 2 steps further.
Oh, no.
Oh, keeper. Oh, keeper. Awful touch. Can he score? Emerson will. And he'll be onside as well. If anything, the consolation.
He tried playing all the way back to the goalkeeper. An absolute woeful touch from Tim Krul, giving it on a plate to Emerson. He had that chance in the first half with Pedro. You've got to say, the chances were coming through Max Aaron's fullbacks pushing up. At half-time, he told his fullbacks to stay back while attacking. Emerson's attacking flair, you've got to say, in this second half, hasn't really been there because of the tactical change. A stroke of genius from Max Aaron.
Referee, that should do us. Added time of 2 minutes has been played, and that will be game, set and match. Max Aaron's books a place into the semi-finals. And unfortunately, we will be saying goodbye to Chelsea's Emerson at this stage of the tournament. We're down to our final 4 now, and I can't wait for that finals day tomorrow.
Max, you confirm your place in the semi-final. You must be absolutely delighted with that one.
Yeah, really good performance. Solid performance. And glad to get the win. Looking forward to the next round, yeah.
And obviously at half-time, you said that you were dropping your fullbacks a little bit deeper. Do you think that had a big impact on the game? Is that something you're going to look to do in the semi-finals from the start, maybe?
Yeah, Emerson was getting in easy in the first half down the side, so I had to make that little change. But I'm not sure if I'll start like that in the next game or see how it plays out in the next game. Go from there.
And obviously, we lost Todd Cantwell at the first hurdle. You've gone all the way to the semi-finals. Are you going to be sending him a little bit of a message saying, "Oh, Todd, I'm the better FIFA player"?
Yeah, I don't know why he was in the first round ahead of me for that tournament. So I'll probably give him a bit of stick now. Obviously, I've got further than him now. So yeah.
And you're going to go up against John Egan at the semi-final stage. It's a tough game. Have you seen any of John's games so far? Because he's been pretty clinical in front of goal.
I haven't. No, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen any of his games. I guess I'll have to have a look now. I don't know when the game will be, but I've got a bit of time to have a look at it, see how he plays. So yeah, it should be interesting.
There we go then. Congratulations, Max. Commiserations to you, Emerson. Unfortunately, we can't hear your microphone. That's why I've not been able to speak to you. But commiserations. Thank you so much, both of you, for being involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Smithy, that was a hell of a game, wasn't it?
It was a great game. And I think a bit of a tactical genius there. The boys in commentary mentioned it. Max Aaron's just making a little tactical change at half-time, and it certainly prevailed. Interesting, when I spoke to them at half-time, though, it was 0-0, which is very rare in this tournament. We haven't seen 0-0 at a half-time stage hardly at all in this tournament. But I did feel like Max Aaron's was dominating that game. We looked at the possession stats and the shots, and it was all Max Aaron's in the second half. So we now know, Joe, the 4 semi-finalists ahead of finals day tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. We have confirmation of all 4 results. We can have a look at them just in case anybody did miss them. Leicester City, James Maddison there, beating Michael Obafemi and Southampton 4-3 in a golden goal thriller. Keenan Davis made light work, it has to be said, of Charlie Taylor in one of the most impressive displays we've seen in this EPL Invitational, 8-1. John Egan came through 4-2 victor for Sheffield United against his good friend Aaron Connolly of Brighton. And there you've just seen Norwich beat Chelsea, Max Aaron's, with a really, really accomplished performance, I think it's fair to say, Smithy. We've also got the draw here for you and what you can expect to see on finals day. So it'll be 2 semi-finals, one between Norwich and Sheffield United. That'll be Max Aaron's versus John Egan, and one semi-final between Keenan Davis and James Maddison, all with the hope of playing in that grand final and taking home the EPL Invitational Trophy, Smithy.
Yes, exactly that, Joe. Finals day tomorrow, as you said, it will be both semi-finals and the final from 5 o'clock. Who will be crowned EPL Invitational Winner 2? We know that Diogo Jota won that the first time round for Wolves. It's going to be one of those 4 players that you mentioned. Just a final reminder from all of us here, please do stay at home in an attempt to save lives. We will see you for finals day tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Bye-bye.